Welcome to the Improvtoons. This episode we're talking about Dime Store Novel, where there's a narrator and the cast acts out what the narrator is saying. I'm sure you have seen very similar games. It's really easy to thematically move towards your improv team if your improv team has a theme or something. And sometimes games like this is one of the benefits of short form. Sometimes games like this organically occur in a long form set, and now you know how to recognize it and maybe manipulate the tools of the format. So let's get into it. Dime Store Novel. Let's welcome the Rainbow Players. Hello, Rainbow Players. So I'm going to teach you a short form game that I learned is called Dime Store Novel. I know it's also called Narrator. I know it's probably has a bunch of other names. But what's really good about this short form game is that once you learn it, you can then use this gimmick or this trope in your long form games. It's really interesting. So what happens is you assign a writer. Let's say that Blue is the writer. Blue steps forward and Blue gets their own space, typically at the front of the stage, because we're going to do kind of a split scene, okay? I'll do another Improvtoons about split scenes. That's a really good one. But so Blue is going to do a split scene, and Blue is the writer. Now, everybody else in the cast, you can assign like 3 or 4 people, but in doing it, I've always just said anybody that wants to jump in can jump in. And Blue's going to be the writer. You get the name of the play or story that they're writing from the audience, and as they're describing everything that happens in that story, the rest of the cast is then required to physically act it out. Okay, so if we get a suggestion from the audience, what is this play that's never been written, and they say, Little Red Riding Hood takes over Wall Street. Let's say that's the phrase that we get from the audience, or the book title we get from the audience. So Blue then starts telling a story. Little Red Riding Hood wanted a future for herself, so then she went to an economics course at Santa Monica Community College, did really well, met a professor there. And as this is happening, you can see the other Rainbow Players are then acting out these elements behind them. Now, it's really cool because the writer should be aware of what's going on, so it's usually good to have them kind of cattywampus to the scene so that they can kind of see what's going on. And the writer can then endow or make offers to people performing on stage, especially if stuff is getting some really good responses from the audience. But there's also ways that the performers can then kind of create offers for the writer. Like if a player just enters, let's say Red just enters the scene. Now Blue has to validate who that person is that just entered, right? So there's a way, it's a form of communication between 2 different scenes going on. It can be really fun. The way that we did it is we made it very thematic to our team. So if you have a themed team, like let's say your Tiny Stories improv and you do really short stories. So you do like Dime Store Novel and say, we're going to do the shortest love story ever told. What's the name of the very shortest love story ever told? And then it kind of feeds into your theme of your play, of your group, right? And that's Dime Store Novel. You have to have a very playful group because the physicality can be really fun. There's times that the writer can even allow the cast to come up with their own lines by saying, let's say Blue goes, and that's when she met the biggest man on Wall Street, and she said to him, and then whoever's playing Little Red Riding Hood can come up with the lines, whatever they want to say. Ready? I'm taking over Wall Street, right? So the writer is just a component. The people acting it out are still contributors to the improv scene. So that's what I learned is Dime Store Novel. It's a really fun one. Modify it. Have fun with it. See you guys next time. So that's the short form game, Dime Store Novel. There are hundreds of ways of doing it. I'm sure it's called by many different names, but what's really important, one of the valuable nuggets there is that gimmick, is that split screen. It's that communication between 2 entities in 2 different environments, which is kind of interesting. Please like, share, comment. I do this for free. In fact, I pay to do this. I actually spend money to do this, but the only thing I want to do is I want to help smaller improv teams find their voice. I want to help smaller improv teams and people that are passionate about improv. I want to help them compete with big names because it's an art form. I want everyone to find their stage time and find their cast. It would be wonderful. So that's all I'm trying to do with the Improv Boost. If you don't like, share, and comment on the Improv Boost, just like, share, and comment on each other's teams. Like that really helps. Let's take away the gatekeepers. Let's take away the people that say it's all about me, and let's create a community where we're sharing each other's stages, where we're guesting on each other's teams. Like, that's wonderful, and I really hope that happens. So I hope you all have a great day. I hope your next improv show goes amazing. I think that'd be awesome. I hope everyone's improv show goes amazing, because I would love to sit in a night of nothing but amazing improv shows. That sounds great. That would inspire me to be better. So have great rehearsals, have great shows, and I'll see you next time on the Improvtoons.